Hi, this is Rob Polenick of Brutal Iron Gym. Today's workout was legs. Meredith and I just got back from a week-long trip to London, which was super fun, and I did get a lot of training in. However, anytime I travel, I know my sleep is going to be different, food is going to be different, hydration is going to be different. So I expect when I come back that my body will be different. So with that in mind, the first workouts I do, usually for each body part, or at least for 2 or 3 workouts, are lighter weight workouts where I focus more on high reps. I like the high reps because it helps to push a lot of fluid through the muscles and the joints, and it can help to balance out muscular tightnesses, so that way I move better. And then with the moderate weight load needed with the higher reps, I'm reducing my risk of injury. So it helps me restore healthy movement and stay healthy in the process. With that in mind, today I started out with a superset of lying leg curls, 4 sets of 30 reps, and a standing quadricep stretch. The lying leg curls is awesome because it helps to open up your hamstrings, which can be very tight from sitting and a lot of traveling and any dehydration you might have. The high reps pushes a lot of fluid through the muscles. And then I also find that when you pump up your hamstrings, it helps warm up your knees as well. So it's a less stressful on the knee joint way of warming up your knees. A little bit of a tongue twister there, but it works really well. And then pairing it with the standing quadricep stretch is to help open up the hip flexors and upper quadriceps, which when tight can pull on your patella tendon, your kneecap, and that can cause pain when you're doing compound or quad dominant movements, which I would be doing later in the workout. So I wanted to make sure I opened up those tissues, and they are notorious for being tight if you're dehydrated and or have been sitting for a while. So that first circuit was a really good way to restore healthy movement, and it also helped with getting my endorphins and adrenaline up. The last set of 30 on the lying leg curls, I needed to rest pause. I think I got like 20 and then 6 and then 4. That's a good intensity, a good miserable burn. So I started producing more adrenaline, which is focus and aggression. That will help me with performance in the workout. And then endorphins, which is our body way of like a natural painkiller. So that way I can endure more intensity and put a good challenge into the workout. Now I know I said I'm doing high reps and moderate weight, but I still don't want to baby the workout. I want to have a really good workout. So I'll control the damage that can be done with the rep range and weight load selection, but I'm always going to put in the best I have in regards to my effort and intensity. So that's a good way to kind of play that game of making sure you're safe, but not babying yourself and maybe missing out on some good benefit. I then stayed with the lying leg curls and did multiple drop sets. I aimed for something I could do about 15 to 20 reps, and then I dropped some weight and did 5 to 10, dropped some weight and did 5 to 10. I took a 2-minute rest and then did that again. After that, hamstrings are dead. Very happy. That was a good way to get into the hamstrings and make sure that they were accounted for the day. I then did a circuit pairing of calf raises on the hack squat, and then also just regular hack squats. Now for the regular hack squats, I do have the 10-degree Rogue metal wedge. So it's like doing a squat with Olympic lifting shoes, and it just emphasizes more the quadriceps down by the knees, which is what I'm wanting to grow and build, is my quad sweep down more towards the bottom of the quad. And that's going to help me balance out some of the thickness that I have from the adductor and upper quad area. I would like to have my legs look like a nice big sweep rather than an upside down cone. So trying to put some meat down by the knees. The calf raises, I did sets of 20. The last set I had to do a little bit of a rest pause to get to it. And then on the half squats, what I paired with the calf raises was just warm-ups. So I did 3 warm-up sets of 20, but the last set of 20 was a super miserable burn, just like the last warm-up of the lying leg curls. I then dropped the calf raises and did 3 hard sets of 10 to 14 reps on the hack squat. Good controlled motion, try not to overextend at the top, really keeping constant tension. I want to maximize the muscle intensity, not necessarily the weight load. So I was very happy with how those went. After that, everything was nice and twingy and feeling pretty beat up, but I decided to throw in something a little bit more fun and get a little bit extra in there. So I added some walking lunges. I did the first set with just my body weight. especially if you're doing something that's a bilateral compound movement. You're not going to get a lot of stretch in your adductors. So if I'm then moving into something that's unilateral, I want to give my body a chance to open up some tissues and get used to that movement before I would load that movement very heavy. So although I was plenty warm enough to do something challenging by that point in the workout, I wanted to make sure that the muscles had a chance to adapt to the new movement pattern of the lunges. So that's why I did the first set with body weight. I then did a set with 20s and then two sets with 40s. By then everything was twingy, annoyed, and I felt really happy knowing that I got a really good workout. So that was the point of today's workout, was a little bit higher reps, a little bit lighter weight load, but still maximal intensity. And I combined everything in today's workout, calves, hamstrings, and quadriceps, rather than splitting them apart. This is a great way to structure a workout after you've had some traveling or a little bit of time off. You're not going to sacrifice any results. You absolutely will grow from this. It's just maybe a little bit different than what I might normally do, where maybe I'd have more of a quad dominant day or more of a hamstring and glute dominant day. I just blend them all together in a day like this. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. If you give the workout a try, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching.